And now, you're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
The hype train has arrived and we are live. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is RBLR Bucs, your home for the best Tampa Bay Buccaneers talk on the planet. I am one of your co-hosts tonight, Musab, and I am ready to dive into the madness that was this past Sunday. All right, well, look, I'm not going to lie. It was another heart-stopping, white-knuckle, crazy ending for our Buccaneers. That's 3 straight weeks now. I feel like my blood pressure is definitely going through the roof, especially when I watch our beloved Buccaneers. But hey, a win is a win. We had some absolutely iconic moments out there, but of course, there are some things we definitely need to clean up on. But the past is the past now. It's time to shift gears and look ahead as well, because we've got a fiery matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles coming up this Sunday, and we're going to be breaking it down all for you. But before we get to that, I got to say this over and over again, and I really do mean it. Please drop your thoughts in the comments. Whether you're listening on YouTube, X, Instagram, Facebook Live, it doesn't matter. We are open ears all the time, 24/7, all year round. We truly mean it. We love showing our listeners some love, and we absolutely value your insight, all right? Because what? Look, we're not football gods, even though we wish we were, or, at least I wish I was. But no, on the real, though, your input is everything. And while you're at it, be sure to check out the rest of the RBLR podcast team. We're covering all of our beloved professional sports teams, from our soccer squad to our hockey, our baseball, and even our beloved university in Tampa, or Temple Terrace, which is the University of South Florida. Go Bulls. But enough from me now. I got to bring in the crew. First, let's welcome back a man who's missed last week's show, but he is back and better than ever. The blitz is on, the pocket is collapsing, and the QB is down. Give it up for my man, Zach Blaine.
What's happening, man? Baseball, that 10U baseball is kicking my butt recently, man. I'm missing a lot of stuff lately.
Well, at least you at least winning? How's that going?
We're 3-5 right now. We're not doing too bad.
Right on. Hey, it's all that matters is how you finish. So,
Exactly.
Our Buccaneers have had some choppy seasons in the beginning of the season, and at the end of the day, we finish out strong. And maybe what? Maybe your baseball team is in the NFC South. You know what I'm saying? And
it would be nice. That would be nice.
Maybe, yeah, I'm sure it would be. Yeah, I got a soccer league like that, but we last but not least, we got to introduce the final puzzle piece of this iconic trio. A man who knows his football just as well as he knows how to rock a sideline. What style? Let's get it. Let's go, Mr. Carter Brantley. What's the good word, my friend?
Oh, nothing much. Just another day, another dollar type thing. Man, what another exciting game, huh? I mean, my goodness. How are you doing though, Musab? You having a good week so far?
So far, so good. I mean, it makes it. It was a therapeutic win for our USF Bulls, and then all that kind of calmness went out the window watching our Buccaneers. Well, at least the first 3 quarters, it was fine, and then, before you know it, in the blink of your eye, the Jets, come back, and it all comes down to a game-winning field goal. So
that's right.
It's. I have to say we're probably the most, exciting team to watch, and it's especially the end of our games must be so intriguing, and quite a little bit of a historic, kind of side piece. My buddy Andy actually told me that Baker Mayfield became the first QB in NFL history since Brett Favre in 1999 to lead 3 consecutive game-winning drives with less than 2:30 to the start of the season. So, yeah, we're watching some iconic things going on, regardless of the adversity we're facing.
That's right. We're watching some history. So with all that being said, in case you did not pick up on it, the Bucs won this past weekend. It was another dramatic game. Just really, man, just like Musab said, the blood pressure might be spiking for a lot of us. It's definitely white knuckle type of games, but they won 29-27 on that game-winning field goal off of the foot of Chase McLaughlin. So yeah, we'll start with some basic stuff and kind of work towards the more interesting parts of the game. But I thought I wanted to start with the run game because, obviously everyone's talking about the offensive line being banged up, and rightfully so. Like, the offensive line is in dire straits right now. You've got Greg Allman tweeting that the Bucs are asking reporters not to talk about online who the Bucs are practicing an offensive line. So it's been a tough go, but they've still been able to run the ball relatively well the past couple of weeks because in the dog days of the Bucs running game, they were averaging 70 yards a game. So 100 plus yards, hey, that's not bad. So I was very encouraged by that. Zach, you're kind of, I feel like you're maybe the more of the realist between the two of us. Was this encouraging, or are you kind of like, they're playing the Jets and the Texans?
Well, no, I mean, the Jets and Texans both have decent D lines. I'm not by any means going to lessen that on them. I think that it's a glaring reflection on how good our running backs are.
Yeah.
I mean, Rachaad White's having another good start to the year. He hasn't lost the ball, which I know was kind of an issue last year.
Yeah.
Bucky is being Bucky. We've not seen any huge games out of either one of them, which is different because we're used to seeing, every 2 or 3 games, Bucky having a really good game, and every now and then you'll see Rachaad pop off. I think it's just, again, a testament to how good they are, and that we might be on practice squad guys on the O-line, but they might be the best practice squad guys in the league. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Bucs have
at least the second half, because that first half, Jesus Christ,
it was brutal. Yeah, not super fun to watch. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the Bucs have clearly done a good job of identifying some nice depth pieces. They've also got that legendary offensive line coach Tom Moore, I believe his name is, and he clearly, he's been around the block. So
he's putting them up right,
yeah, and any crazy, injury stuff that's happening to the Bucs, I'm sure it's happened to him before. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's seen something similar. So, yeah, I mean, they've turned it around, and like you said, Rachaad White and Bucky seem to be doing really well. And I don't know, I'm kind of I think Bucky's just got to get into it. He's got to get into the rhythm, or maybe he's pacing himself a little more. I don't know, but regardless, like, overall pretty pleased with the running game. And this is what they're doing with Graham Barton at left tackle. Like, this is what they're doing with no Wirfs or Gadecki. So imagine what they can do with both of those guys healthy. That's sort of my thoughts on it. But Mr. Tariq, how about you, man? What were your thoughts on the running game and its development through the season so far?
It's definitely, very encouraging to see, of course. Being this consistent with the 100 plus, rushing yards. And yeah, what Zach said, it's not like we've seen anything, legendary from Bucky or Rachaad White, but they all work well. Both of them work well together. And on top of that, we have, D Baker Mayfield as well, scrambling here and there. So that's also another kind of, valuable piece as well in our rushing game. So for what it's worth, with the offensive line we have, I was impressed with even, the play calling, feeding good looks. So overall, I'm happy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good place to be in for sure. And the passing game is always going to be really good. Baker's great, and Emeka Egbuka seems to be turning it around, or not turning it around, but like really starting himself off really on the right foot. And I wanted, since we're talking about the offense, I wanted to ask you all. Emeka to me has been one of the best rookies in football so far. Like, kind of, I don't know. Zach, I know you're what do you think about that statement?
Yeah. I think if we were to poll people right now, I think it's between him and Tet McMillan for Rookie of the Year.
Sure, absolutely.
And I know we're 3 weeks in. It's nothing crazy.
Of course.
Way too but I think that those two are making the biggest impact out of, I would say, all rookies, and definitely offensive rookies.
Sure.
So he came in and he's showing that he's a good receiver. He's one of the older receivers that have coming into the draft. So, sure. He's showing you why that's important. And I think that, as upset as I was with the pick at the time, it wasn't for the caliber of player he was. It was more so the position. And I'm not mad at it at this point.
Yeah. It turns out they really need him.
Yeah.
Getting to the injury news, the unfortunate injury news, Mike Evans out for 2 to 4 weeks, however long it will be, with another hamstring injury. I think I saw something, it was like 4 or 5 straight seasons with hamstring injuries for him, which is a real bummer. kind of puts the 1,000-yard streak at risk. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, Musab, what are your thoughts on Emeka Egbuka so far this season? He's become like super important. And he's rising to the occasion. Give him credit.
Absolutely. I mean, I am nothing but happy that we got him. He's had a huge impact. I mean, I'll tell you this, watching the game again, there are things, that people, probably just don't see, making also like, that one play against, this past week against the Jets. I think, it was a potential fumble. I think Baker got hit or something, ball dropped. And then Egbuka just ran straight at the defender and like knocked it out or something, or knocked it away from him.
I think that was Rachaad White.
Are you sure? No, I'm pretty sure that Egbuka.
Yeah,
because he went for the route and then ran back. He ran all the way back and try to kind of knock the defender away or something.
Maybe it was a week before that Rachaad White had the fumble recovery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was the Rachaad White fumble recovery. Yeah, this was another one. I just noticed it from the it just kind of caught my eye because I was like, thank God he did that. But I mean, every single game he stepped up to the plate. I'm nothing but just happy, so thankful that we got him. I'm right there with Zach. I wasn't enthusiastic about the pick at first, but this is the same thing that actually happened, last year with Bucky Irving. I was like, okay, I'm sure he'll do well. But Bucky Irving was also not a first-round pick, so
exactly.
There's that. Yeah. Sorry. Before I keep going on and on, there's a difference. But no, seriously though, now especially with Mike Evans injured, I think he'll be able to fill in those shoes at least temporarily until Mike comes back.
Yeah, and now it's like it's just. Unfortunately, dealing with all of these injuries, like, Chris Godwin can take it a little bit more time. I think if Emeka wasn't there, I think Godwin has to, I don't want to say has to, but like, I think he maybe feels a bit more pressure to rush in his rehab, and maybe he comes back and gets hurt again because, that's just how the nature of those things sometimes. But now it's like, hey, if Chris Godwin doesn't play this weekend, like, it's not the end of the world. It's obviously you'd rather have Chris Godwin on the field, but Emeka Egbuka certainly takes a lot of that pressure off. So I'm very excited about his start. I think it's just another case of Jason Light knowing what he's doing. He's so far so good, right? Like he, obviously a lot of time left, a lot of career left for Emeka Egbuka, but he's off to a very solid start. And speaking of solid starts and good draft picks, Yaya Diaby. He had 11 pressures, the most of any player since week 8 last year. I know it's the Jets. That's their offensive line. It's Tyrod Taylor, who's, a veteran, to put it kindly. So he does not move like he once did. But that's still a really, really impressive performance. Like, those guys might not be all pros or anything, but they're NFL caliber. They're NFL starting tackles.
There we go. I was saying, let's not go too crazy.
No, I feel you. But they're NFL players. They get paid too. Right? So it's definitely one of those things that you don't want to overreact. But I was very pleased with Yaya Diaby because the pass rush has been a bit of a question mark last year, and it kind of up and down, hills and valleys. So Musab, were you encouraged by Yaya Diaby's performance? Do you think he can continue to play this well?
Yes, I'm encouraged. I think he can. Of course, we're gonna have to see more. I mean, one game of elite pressure can only be so much, especially with the depending on the matchup you have. So this is going to be a team effort. I just feel like it's because of his teammates he was able to also kind of succeed. So we're just going to have to keep firing on all cylinders. I'm also expecting Reddick and Vita Vea to also kind of make some damage. Those three guys, if they can kind of work together, one guy kind of is able to kind of pick up a player or two, then that way we'll have Diaby or Reddick able to get the sack or pressure the quarterback.
Sure. Yeah, it's all about eating up blocks. That's the whole Vita Vea methodology. And now that Cansey's out, Elijah Roberts has been, he's been a more than serviceable replacement for Cansey, which I think is a very nice, encouraging development. Logan Hall has kind of been banged up a little bit too. So it's just, I think they just signed CJ Brewer from their practice squad. And, oh, man, just the injuries, they just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. So it's brutal. But Yaya Diaby, Zach, man, what a performance, huh? He was really, really darn good.
He looked really good. He looked great. I think that obviously I'm still high on him. I'm going to need more games 11 pressures. That's a phenomenal game. I don't expect 11 pressures every game.
Right. That would be, yeah.
But I need to see more than 2 or 3 a game as well. And I think that if we can find that happy medium there, give me 6 to 7 pressures a game, I'll be happy. You're doing what I like to see. So it's kind of one of those. I'm hopeful that this was kind of a breakout game for him. We've been sort of waiting on it at this point, and I'm hoping that it just continues. But he was phenomenal against the Jets.
Yeah, because last year he showed flashes, right? Like he very much had some very I don't want to say inconsistent, but he had some solid games. What's that?
He was spotty.
Yes, spotty. Like he was. I think he made my honorable mentions list for this year's top 10 pass rushers as sort of a guy who could sneak on there with a really good season. And I think Hassan Reddick being there is probably, I'd imagine, a huge help. I mean, Hassan Reddick might not be the Hassan Reddick of old, but he knows what it takes to be that type of player. So at that position. So I'm very encouraged by it. I'm hopeful that he can continue to play at that level, or not at that level, but at least a little bit closer to that level than he was last year. Because last year he certainly approached it, but he never quite, reached that mountaintop in terms of production. So hopefully Yaya can continue that. And, because then the Bucs will be in great shape if Yaya Diaby is playing at a high level, because then it takes the pressure off the corners and the secondary and the linebackers and just the guys in coverage don't have to sweat it out nearly as much. But speaking of guys in coverage, although this isn't about necessarily a guy making interceptions or pass breakups, but Antoine Winfield Jr. entered the top 10 for sacks among defensive backs all time, which was mind-boggling to me. I was kind of shocked to read that because, Antoine Winfield Jr., great player, but that's he's still only 27 or 28 maybe. I mean,
I think he's 28.
Yeah, he's not old, he's not even 30 yet. So that was kind of a bonkers thing for me. And I wanted to hear y'all's thoughts on maybe how he's been this season. It seems like he's taken a big, a big step back or a big step forward and a return to form for him. Zach, I feel like he's not, maybe not quite to the Antoine Winfield Jr. of 2023, but he's certainly on track to get back there. What are your thoughts on his performance this past year and him reaching this historic milestone at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, he actually just turned 27 in August, so I was off by 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a historic milestone, but I will say, to me, it feels like as of the last few years, we've seen defensive backs blitzing more than we have in the past. Not to take anything away from him, but I think that you're going to see a lot of players jump up into that top 10 here I'm not saying next year or anything, but if that makes sense, I think a lot of the way Tampa runs is kind of becoming a little more popular in the NFL.
Sure.
So I'm high on him still, obviously, but I don't know that I'd say he's an all-time great safety at this point.
Sure.
Because we watched last year, and it was not good. I would almost say it was awful.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we're coming back to form, and I'm hopeful that we are, because I do think he's a great player. But I'm a little timid to go, yep, he's back, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it. It's still week 4, or we're coming up on week 4. Yeah. So it's still very early, but the early returns have been encouraging. I know they've played, the Falcons, the Texans, the Jets, not exactly, the Ravens or anything like that offensively, but it's you can only play who you can play. So it's still encouraging because the Bucs were the Bucs have struggled against bad offenses too, right? So it's not necessarily a given that they're going to play well defensively against these types of teams, but so far, it hasn't been atrocious. It hasn't been awful. But Musab, what were your thoughts on Antoine Winfield Jr. Entering this kind of rarefied air, and what are your thoughts on his performance this year so far?
So far, so good this year. Yeah, I mean, I want to piggyback off of Zach. He's had his ups and downs, of course, but of course, I think he's getting back into it. He is definitely the cornerstone of the Buccaneers defense. One of the most impactful, probably defensive backs right now in the league. So I mean, he's already made a name for himself. So still got to see a little bit more, but I also got I want to give credit as well to the play calling. I mean, that was just a really good read. Getting that sack. That honestly, I don't think that. I mean, the Jets were really not expecting that at all. So it just makes you think. I mean, you plan that a couple of times. You got a good DB, a solid DB who can get that done. I think, then, you can just keep on racking up more and more sacks and all that too. So, I don't want to just say, take this away like, oh my God, wow, this guy's racking up sacks. Like, oh man, all praise Antoine Winfield. You know what I'm saying? But
sure.
I think it's just the all around impact that he has. I think that's just really, good to see. I mean, it's more than just, the sacks as well that he's done even this season so far. So, I'll keep an eye out, for him. Same thing kind of with, Yaya Diaby. Both things are very encouraging so far. So
for sure,
hope they stay consistent.
Yeah. And it's a tough thing, but it's a tough thing to have a season as bad as Antoine Winfield Jr. did, coming off that big contract extension, right? Like him getting paid and then just going out and kind of laying an egg, just kind of having a stinker of a year. And he's clear. He seems to be responding, which is great. So very hopeful that he can continue this high caliber play. And speaking of high caliber play, player of the game, Jamel Dean. My goodness. I know. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like Jamel Dean, like he was, kind of the butt of a lot of jokes. He has been throughout his career as a Buck. But he had a pick 6 this past Sunday, and he had a PFF grade of over 90, which, wow, like that's not something that I think any of us expected for Jamel Dean, but got to give him credit. It seems like him splitting time with Benjamin Morrison has really been huge. Jamel Dean's snap count has gone down quite a bit. Like he's not playing 80-90% of snaps right anymore. He's playing like 70%, which sounds like a bit of a small downgrade, but I think it makes a bigger difference than we all realize, myself included. Like it's just one of those things. He was also banged up a lot. So hopefully this is kind of another injury prevention thing, and hopefully he can continue to play pretty well. Maybe not quite this caliber, because that would be probably unrealistic, but what are your thoughts on Jamel Dean's performance? Zach, I know you probably want to give Baker some love here, so please also shout out Baker for player of the game too.
Oh yeah, no, Baker 100% was my player of the game, without a doubt. As much as Jamel Dean made an impact, that's the first interception he's had in like 4 seasons, it feels like.
Right. No, I feel
everyone's kind of talking like, Jamel Dean's back. We've played a crappy CJ Stroud. Michael Penix playing his 4th regular season game ever. And Tyrod Taylor.
right.
I don't know the numbers on how many times he was targeted. He played a big part in the win. I'm not taking that away from him. He played a great game. I'm just we've played really bad competition, and I'm not so much sold on him. Meanwhile, Baker drives us down and gets us another come from behind win. I don't want him to have to do that every week, but I will tell you this week when it happened, there was not even a doubt in my mind that we could do it, if that makes sense. And I've not felt that way in a long time. So I'm excited, and I think he gets more credit in my book because our offense was humming for the first 2.5 quarters. So
Right.
I'm excited to see the growth from him every year. It's been awesome, but props to Jamel Dean still.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They both had a great game. They both played very well. But Mr. Treek, how about you? You want to sing some more praise for Jamel Dean or Baker, or maybe you got a third guy that we're not thinking of?
You know what? Actually, I was actually going to go for Jamel Dean, but of course I also don't want to keep doing Baker. I feel like
Right. He gets too much
Baker.
attention.
And I mean, yeah, he gets too much attention. I do want to say that one player of the game, I'm going to say Deion Jones, because he stopped that 2-point conversion, and I feel like that just changed the game, honestly, completely. So, when it was our last drive, I mean, knowing Baker, I was at ease. I was like, this is totally possible. I know we're gonna, clean up all of our issues we've had. We're gonna tighten, I'm sure Baker probably just told those guys, tighten the F up. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get, down the field. And props to him. And of course, props to Jamel Dean. But I want to give it to Deion Jones actually this game for stopping that 2-point conversion. I think that was just an absolute game changer. But God, it was tough, just because of how weird and ugly this game is. Even Jamel Dean, I wouldn't say Jamel Dean, that pick six was definitely a momentum changer as well. And so refreshing to see,
right.
Yeah. Buccaneers DB room. So
it's been a while. It's been a long time since we can look at the Bucs secondary and not just get nauseous. It could still be there. We could be coming back next week with this show and be talking about, AJ Brown had a 200-yard receiving game. That is absolutely in the realm of possibility, no doubt about it. Yeah, so I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but still got to celebrate the victories, right? Like even if it's against Tyrod Taylor and the Jets. But if you're looking to upgrade your wardrobe and you're looking for a Baker Mayfield fourth quarter type of performance out of your wardrobe, definitely head to shop.rblrsports.com. We've got some really great gear there. Mr. Musab Tariq is rocking it. If you want to be like Mr. Musab Tariq, which we all do, then definitely head to shop.rblrsports.com. We've got a promo code for you. That's Cannon, CANNONS. Type it in, get 10% off your entire order. All right. So the second half of the episode, before we get into, they're playing the Eagles this weekend, in case you don't know. But before we get into that, I did want to have kind of a bit of a longer NFL view of the Bucs, specifically Baker Mayfield, because he's been pretty darn good so far. And, we can play some narrative ball, even just setting aside any statistics or anything. The 3 straight game-winning drives. And Musab, I'll start with you because I know what Zach's going to say. He's the fan club. But to me, he's been the league MVP so far. Like, the Bucs are 3-0. He's been, like, arguably the player of the game in each of the games. And I don't know. He's been the best player. He's been one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the NFL so far for me, Musab. But what are your thoughts on Baker Mayfield's MVP chances?
Oof, MVP chances. I just feel like it is
heavy.
I think the league is going to need to see it a little bit more, of course.
Sure.
Yeah. I think he definitely has potential. We got a long season, of course. But, we're seeing nothing but just great things from Baker. I mean, 0 interceptions, just absolute dog out there when it comes to the passing and running. So, gosh, I mean, I just hope he just keeps on doing his thing because, we give it more and more weeks and he's just going to become a stronger candidate for that, MVP award.
Yeah, I mean, him and Justin Herbert to me have been the two really, really good quarterbacks so far this year. Obviously, Jalen Hurts as well, especially this past week against the Rams. I mean, hey, I know you're shaking your head, Zach, but hey, he was balling against the Rams, man. The Rams have a good defense.
Yeah, against the Rams, he's a good fullback.
Word. Well, regardless, I want to give you the floor to shout out Baker and sing his praises some more because I know he's having a great year. No interceptions. Like, no interceptions.
You guys be shocked at this, all right?
Yeah, it's insane.
I love how he's playing. He's my MVP.
Okay.
Tampa is not putting up enough points for him to get recognized as an MVP in the league.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
I watching him every Sunday. Yes, he is playing at an MVP caliber. But Tampa's offense is not – it's not bad, don't get me wrong. But what's the most points we've put up this year?
Right.
We've not played great teams. We have our teams have a combined 1-8 record right now.
Right. It's a good point. Yeah.
Carolina put up 30 on Atlanta, and we won 16-19 or something like that. 17-19.
Mm-hmm.
I love Baker, and I think he has a shot to win MVP if our offense can step it up. But right now, I don't think I'm in agreement with you on Justin Herbert and Baker being two of the best quarterbacks. I also think somehow Daniel Jones is
right.
very good quarterback this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I to the point where I think Daniel Jones, if he keeps it up, wins comeback player of the year without a doubt.
Oh,
100%.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I don't know. Justin Herbert, I think, has got it for me right now. He got Madison Beer as a girlfriend, and now it's game over. Everyone else, ask Josh Allen how it goes. He's gonna
Yeah, you know.
No, but yeah, I do think Baker's playing very well, but our offense isn't putting up the numbers they need to right now for him to win MVP.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not necessarily. It's a long season, and with Daniel Jones, he has been one of the best quarterbacks in football, but I think Baker has a better shot to maintain his level of success. Whereas Daniel Jones, I'm kind of like, it's really fun, it's really exciting. I'm kind of bracing for
the Daniel Jones we all know. Agree.
100%. Whereas with Baker, I don't have that problem. I think this is.
Although I think it may have been a New York problem, bro. I don't know that it was
it's gotta be.
Daniel Jones has played a role in it. I'm not saying he hasn't, but every player that's played in New York and left New York is like, oh, maybe they're not a bad player.
Yeah. No,
maybe they're pretty good.
Yeah, the quarterback situations of the Jets and the Giants both, they need to figure something out. It's just been such a revolving door for both of those teams for the past few years, and it's just been it's been gross to watch. And I hope that Jackson Dart can figure it out, but frankly, I don't have a lot of faith that he can. Not because of him, but because it's the New York Giants, and they can't figure anything out. So it's it's dark, it's depressing, and they've wasted a lot of really talented quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. Zach Wilson's just bad, but Sam Darnold and Geno Smith have gone on to have solid NFL careers, despite getting off to rough starts with the Jets. So, I don't know. It's definitely going to be something to monitor, though, because I will say, I know, Zach, you're not a huge fan of it, but estimated points added, total EPA, Baker is top 5. He's pretty good.
Baker's impact. Man, you put Daniel Jones in Baker's shoes, like these last 3 games, we wouldn't win. We wouldn't win those games. That's what I'm saying. So let's get Daniel Jones. I mean, MVP to me is, this is the same thing that I used to argue with all my buddies about Steve Nash back in 05 and 06, which was it's the impact. All right, I get it. He may not have the brightest stats and all that, because I know Kobe and Shaq were dominating at that time. But the same thing now. Okay, it's the same thing. You're making me chuckle, Carter, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying.
No, I get your point. If we're going strictly off the importance of the team, then Baker wins MVP all day. Unfortunately, that's not how the voters look at it. The voters look at it as Josh Allen has the most yards, second most yards, most touchdowns, less interceptions, and I don't expect, if our offense keeps at this pace, I don't expect Baker to lead in yards. I don't expect him to lead in touchdown passes. I do think if he keeps playing the way he is, he could have the least interceptions this year. He's playing phenomenal. He's making much better choices. I think it's just if he can put up 3 touchdowns more regularly, I think you see it. Oh, wow, Baker's an MVP type guy. That's my only worry about it.
I know what you're saying.
Most important back in the league right now, to their team's success.
Yeah, it'll just be something to monitor. The MVP odds and all that nonsense. Because Lamar is playing on the Ravens are 1-2 or 0-3. They're not playing well, but he's playing well. Just the rest of the team is.
I thought they were 2-1.
What's that?
I thought they're 1-2.
Well, they're 1-2.
1-2.
They play the Chiefs this weekend, and one of them's going to end up being 1-3.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's going to be 1-3.
Really? Wow. Okay.
The Chiefs do not look good, dude.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. They definitely don't look great, but it's Kansas City. They're always going to pull the rabbit out of the hat, and they have Roger Goodell on their side and Taylor Swift on their side, and apparently I'll
give you that.
Yeah, that's enough to get some victories apparently. But anyways, on to the Eagles, because that's who the Bucs play this weekend.
We have to talk about them.
I know. It's tough. It's tough because they are. I know that Drew Brees went on national television, was talking about how boring their offense is and all this yammering and yakking about the Eagles are boring, they're bad for football, and the low ADOT, the low average depth of target. Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball downfield, and okay, but they're also 3-0. You know, like I get it, and it's they're the defending Super Bowl champs, and they're 3-0. Like I get they're boring, and I don't like them either, but they're a tough team. Like they're going to be a really really tough game this weekend. So I want to start with Saquon Barkley because he's having a bit of an. I mean, you know, you can't replicate last season's performance. That's just not going to happen. But he's had a bit of a weird year. Jalen Hurts has had a bit of a weird year. Are you kind of as scared of this Eagles offense? Because last year it felt like sort of inevitable, like that they were just going to run through teams. But how do y'all feel about this Eagles offense, and what can the Bucs do to stop Hurts, Barkley, and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, sort of their explosive weapons? Zach, I'll start with you, man. What do you think the Bucs can do to stop this Eagles offense?
Yeah. I don't know.
Word.
That sounds bad. It's a dumb answer to give on a podcast. I get it. I don't see them stopping them.
Yeah.
They've got more wins than the other three opponents we've played combined.
Right. Yeah.
And they would have only needed 2.
Sure.
But I'm worried because our defense has looked decent, but then we also let Tyrod Taylor come back and almost win a game last week. Granted, special teams had a play in that, and I'm not dismissing it as just the defense, but our defense kind of stalled out last week, and
Sure.
It's been that way all 3 games so far. That's why we've had 3 come from behind wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that we're going to be able to put up enough points to have a comeback win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, it's definitely tough. They seem to have they really cracked the code against the Rams this past weekend. Like, especially in that second half, they just kind of came alive. Because I mean, as much as I was dogging on people calling the offense boring or whatever, but Jalen Hurts has been playing incredibly safe. Like it hasn't been, it hasn't been let me push. Like AJ Brown was. I don't even remember how many targets or catches he had in week 1, but it was a minuscule number. Like it was a weird week. Yeah, exactly. 0, like a goose egg. Like that can't happen for an elite top 5 wide receiver like AJ Brown, or however high you rank him. An elite wide receiver like AJ Brown cannot have that type of game. Jalen Hurts has to do a better job of getting him the ball, and he did. You know, he figured it out, and that's why they won the Super Bowl last year, unfortunately. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game this weekend for the Bucs on defense. Like the Eagles have a really impressive offense, but Lane Johnson, I'm not. He's at least questionable. He might be a little banged up. So Musabi think maybe that's kind of a way for the Bucs to maybe get some pressure on Jalen Hurts. I know Hurts is mobile, and that's a tough thing to stop. But Yaya Diaby, maybe him and Jamel Dean can continue their strong performances. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I feel like, look, they got elite playmakers, and I mean, they changed it up, especially. I mean, they flipped the script, against the Rams. I just feel like, of course, any team, but in this case, Philly is beatable, but you got to make them uncomfortable early. I mean, we really got to throw them off. We got to, stop them with the run game, pressure, Hurts, just do whatever we can. I mean, even try to force them to have some pre-snap mistakes, just anything, because it's, skill level, I'm pretty concerned. I'm kind of where Zach is, just like, yep, just, closing my eyes and hoping for the best. But this is kind of going to be more of a strategy game, especially on our defense. I mean, we got to be working. I feel like they, watching the Eagles-Rams game, I feel like, they weren't able to kind of get the gaps going, especially with the run game. So, but they changed it up. They fixed it later on. So we're just going to have a little bit more, I guess, gap discipline. I want Reddick and Diaby to kind of just, fire on all cylinders and just, have some sort of, impact, or else it's just going to be really ugly. Because if we're, as we've discussed this before, Carter, if the pass rush isn't there, hopefully our DBs can do it. But
Right.
In this case, I have to say, if our pass rush isn't there, I'm not too confident with our DBs. I'm happy with what we've seen so far from guys like, hey, shout out Jacob Parrish as well. I think he's been doing pretty solid too.
Yes.
But I mean, it's not like we don't have any straight killers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, we need that against the Eagles. So
yeah, it's going to be tough. But I love the Jacob Parrish shout out though, because I mean, my goodness, we've been focusing a lot on Emeka, and rightfully so. But Jacob Parrish has been a very valuable member of that.
Yeah, racked up a sack himself, I believe, last game too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Should have had 2.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's not even necessarily on him. I'm saying he could have had 2.
Right.
He's been playing phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Jacob Parrish, I mean, my goodness, like a round 3 pick. The book was always like, oh, he's super athletic, and if he was a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, he would have been a much higher pick. But his size kind of works against him, and clearly, like the Bucs have kind of figured something out there. Like I know Antoine Winfield Jr. a bit undersized. I know he's got a little bit more.
Christian Izien.
Right, Christian Izien too. Yeah, I mean they've clearly figured some stuff out with the safeties in the slot corner, the nickel corner positions. So it's been really fun to watch them and watch Jacob Parrish specifically figure that out. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I wanted to get into some key matchups as well. One that I really wanted to focus on was Egbuka versus this Eagles secondary, because the Rams picked him apart a little bit last week. Egbuka and Devontae Adams both looked very good against this Eagles secondary. I know that they're missing. They had to move on from Darius Slay. And so it's that's kind of a void that's been left at that cornerback position. Isaiah Rodgers has gone on to Minnesota, and he had himself a game last week. I mean, my goodness. And and then the Eagles decided not to bring him back. So there's some exploiting that Egbuka could do against this Eagles secondary. So that's kind of one of the key matchups that I had. But Musab, what's another verses that you're looking at for this Bucs Eagles game?
Man, I just want someone to, lock down A.J. Brown, Jamel Dean, Zion McCollum. Hell, I want Winfield, doing something as well. I feel like, he had some big yardage plays against the Rams. So he's probably going to end up doing the same thing if we don't, step up. So we're going to have to get real physical with him. I mean, I need Jamel Dean, at his best, pressing him, jamming him whenever possible, and, Winfield right behind. But of course, that's only one guy, though, that leaves Barkley and Devontae Smith open. So that's another story. But we especially just on those third down threats. Listen, we keep fighting hard. We get them on those third downs. We lock up AJ Brown. I feel like then we can end up working something out and hopefully be able to stop them. But you never know.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. AJ Brown, he's the man for a reason. He gets paid a lot of money to be an elite wide receiver in the NFL, and there's a good reason why. Zach, is there another matchup that you're looking at for this Bucs Eagles game?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at the offensive line against the dumbass tush push.
Right.
I mean, like I hate the Eagles. I cannot stand them. I hate them. I think they're a garbage team. I think that they've gotten away with a dumb play that is going to be illegal next year. And the fact that they won a Super Bowl blows my mind, because this is not a good offense. Like, Saquon Barkley is really good, but you have a quarterback who's completed the ball 55 times for 159 yards a game. Like, he's averaging 6.2 yards an attempt. It's the most boring football I've ever. I agree. I hate Drew Brees, because I don't really hate him. Like, I think he's actually a pretty cool dude. But I hate him because he's a Saint, if that makes sense. But I agree with them wholeheartedly. I think they're not a good team for football. I genuinely have disdain in my heart for them. and honestly, it's more about the fact that everyone talks so highly on Jalen Hurts, and I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Wow. Well, the harsh words from Zach Blaine.
Well, what I will say is, though, is as much as I'm gonna hate it, being used on us, I got respect for the tush push, because I'll tell you this, Zach. No, the tush push doesn't work for everyone. You know what I'm saying? So
no, that's because
I will say there's been a little bit of controversy. I know sometimes the way they lined up may not be exactly, proper, and it, could.
The center's head's over the ball every time.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, look, we got so much technology and all that, the league, or, someone's got to do a better job, but if they're getting away with it, I mean, that's not exactly their fault. And, I mean, we're going to have to
That's like saying if I knew somebody's PIN code for their ATM card and I was getting away with stealing $20 from their wallet from their bank account every day, it's not my fault.
Well, I don't know if we can equate stealing money from someone to, getting a first down.
Stealing wins. Yes, that's how it
is. Well, I do feel you. It is frustrating to watch them false start every time too. Like that's been a big,
they're guards every single time.
Right. That's definitely frustrating. But like Musab said, the NFL hasn't stepped in to do anything about it. And while it's frustrating, and I'm with you, Zach, it's very annoying to watch. Unfortunately, they're winning. They're winning a lot. So hate them, and we can trash on them, but at least.
Well, shout out to their defense as well.
Yeah. At least you're not Kansas City, right? Like at least,
yeah.
at least it's not Mahomes. So yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. It's definitely going to be tough. But Vita Vea has kind of stepped up in these tush push situations and kind of showed him who's boss. So maybe that'll happen again this week where they try it and Vita Vea just rises up and says, nope, not today. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. But a lot of fun individual matchups this weekend, even if, maybe the Bucs get blown out a little bit, which we'll get to some predictions. But before we do that, I did want to talk about our over-under segment because this is a really fun part of the show. And Mr. Blaine, your turn this week. What you got for us?
All right, first one, real easy. I just talked about it. Over/under 4 tush pushes in this game.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going way over.
Yeah, I got to go over as well.
I'll go over.
That was more of a joke one. We'll use it, but it was kind of a joke. No, a real one though is over or under 2.5 rushing touchdowns by Jalen Hurts.
Under. I'm going under.
Over 2.5. Yeah, I'm going to go under on that.
Yeah, I know he's certainly capable of it, but I think that they get their touchdowns.
I'll be honest with you, I said that wrong. I meant 1.5. My goal is 2 because I think he's going to have 2.
Oh, okay. Okay,
so that's I still said that wrong.
Okay, I still go under. I don't think he gets to 2. Yeah, I mean Saquon's there, AJ Brown's there, Dallas Goedert's a good tight end. They've got a lot of options out there. I know the tush push is like easy, an easy target and easy to complain about. And trust me, I'm complaining about it. But yeah, I think that they're not necessarily able to get there, and I think that Vita Vea has sort of, I don't want to say scared them away from doing it, but yeah, I'm going to go under there. But Musab, what about you, man? You still got the under there? Or?
Actually, I was actually thinking 2. I think that's a possibility. I'm gonna go over on this actually. So I think
I'm also going over. He leads the team in rushing touchdowns.
That's true. Absolutely.
He's only thrown 3 touchdowns total to 4 rushing touchdowns. I believe Saquon has 2. So I expect him to be a majority of their scoring this game, as well as every other game. I think he's going to be the go-to, respectfully, touchdown poacher. Sorry,
that's why you can't look at touchdowns as a good way of evaluating.
I agree. I agree 100% with you. Right. No, my second real over/under was over/under. Let's call it 5.5 pressures for Yaya. With Lane being out, what do you guys think? If he's out, I mean, obviously there's a chance he plays still.
Yeah, he's questionable. He had a limited participation, I think, today at practice. I'm going to go under, and that's disappointing to say, but I think, it's hard to have 2 straight weeks of solid, really, really good performance, especially against an Eagles offensive line that, even if Lane Johnson isn't there, is still relatively good. So. And if Lane Johnson's healthy, then I'm hammering the under. But even if Lane Johnson's out, it's just tough to have back-to-back weeks like that. So I'm going to go under. But if he does go over, I do think that the Bucs have a genuine shot of winning this game. But
agreed 100% with that. What about you, Musab? Come on, give it to me, brother.
Oh man, I want to say over, but actually I'm going to go over on this. You know what? I'm confident. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be able to make something happen. I mean, we have to. We seriously have to. I mean, I'm more worried about, allowing, their offense to kind of, run away with the lead than our offense. I think we'll be able to, cook things up after everything we've been through. So it's really, We have to, otherwise it's going to get extremely ugly. So I'm assuming the Buccaneers have been, cooking this week, some game plans and stuff like that. We got to hurry, we got to hurry. Jalen Hurts reads, throwing them completely off. Otherwise, I feel like if they kind of get this little game script, going on and on, then it's just going to be ugly and it's going to exhaust our defense.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm kind of with Carter on this one. Lane Johnson in, I'm hammering the under. Lane Johnson out, I might not be hammering it, but I'm like chiseling at it.
Yeah, that's how I am.
And it being under still, but not as confident with Lane Johnson in. I think that it's going to be he could still have a good game. He might get a sack, but I don't expect anywhere near the 11 pressures that we had last week.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know Jalen Hurts is, like you said, boring offense, right? Like super dump offs and just playing it safe, not turning the ball over and not taking a lot of sacks, because huge negative plays like that are drive killers. Just avoiding like making mistakes, which is a dull way to play football, but so far it's been successful. We'll see.
He's been sacked 7 times so far.
Oh yeah, well, it goes to show you what I know. But but yeah, it's one of those things. It's frustrating to watch, but we'll see. But regardless, we got to have some predictions before we end the show. I think the Bucs lose this one. I got Eagles 34-10. I think it's kind of a blowout. I'm not super excited to watch this game this Sunday. I know that not Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith is out for the Eagles.
Hurt, yeah.
Right. And Zach Bond is not practicing yet. Lane Johnson is questionable. So the Eagles are banged up too. Like, I know the Bucs have this litany and long laundry list of injuries, but the Eagles are a bit banged up too. But I'm not super confident. They're 3-0. The Bucs are 3-0, and that's wonderful and that's great. But they're bound to have a bad game here and there. And why not have a bad game against the Eagles? Like, the Eagles are a pretty good team anyway. So just get that out of the way. Like, they're not technically supposed to win this game anyway, so it's all good. This is not a reflection on the Bucs as a team. It's just everyone has bad games. I think that's on the way. But Zach, who you got winning and by how much?
I mean, you almost stole my exact score.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I've got 34-17.
Okay.
Tampa loss.
Yeah.
I'm just not, with having Mike Evans out. At least that frees up Egbuka to play more freely. I don't want to say freely, but he's not going to be double teamed if Mike Evans is in. Do they double team him this week? I don't know, but he's one of our leading scorers, if not our leading scorer. I think you'd be clinically insane to not double team him, with it now being maybe Chris Godwin. Godwin's not going to be 100%. I honestly wouldn't play Godwin this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So let's just assume Godwin's out. Now you've got Tez Johnson, Amika, Sterling Shepard. That's your 3, maybe Ryan Miller as well.
Yeah.
If you're not doubling Amika with those 4 wide receivers, you deserve to lose every game the rest of the season, because K. Dotton has been non-existent this year. I think that it's going to be a rough game offensively for us, and not because of Baker or our running game, just because the injuries and lack of weapons right now.
Yeah, and I think the defense has a hard time too.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a tough game, but it's the Eagles. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. Like, they're a boring team. I hate them, but they're a good team, unfortunately. So
with all the injuries we have, we shouldn't be 3-0 right now.
Right? Yeah,
I'll be honest. Like, we're at this point with all the injuries, we're kind of playing with the house money.
For sure. Yeah. So 3-1. I think if you asked any Bucs fan, like, 3-1, wow, that's outstanding. With all the injuries they've had, I think that would be an outstanding start. So that's okay. This is going to be a rough game, but that's all right. Mr. Treek, maybe you're the optimist of the 3 of us. Maybe you're going to bring some light and joy to this show ending, but maybe also not. Who you got winning and by how much?
No, absolutely not. I'm not bringing no light, man.
Okay.
I'm going 31-17. I mean, look, but what I will say is here, actually 2 things. Yeah, we're not supposed to be 3-0, but we have Baker Mayfield, because you throw in any other quarterback or the majority of these quarterbacks, and yeah, we'd probably be like 1-2 or 0-3. But anyways, that's another story. On top of that, I do think that the rest of our wide receiver room deserves a teeny bit of more respect, which is why I said 31-17. I mean, I feel like we'll be able to make some things happen. I mean, I got high hopes with Tez Johnson, and I know what do you say?
I said I also put 17 up there.
Oh.
34. I got less optimism in our defense than you have.
Yeah, I gotcha.
3 points.
Yeah, 31-17. I just think that it's just going to be more Eagles kind of just controlling time of possession, with the run.
I expect a big game from Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, big game from Saquon. I feel like, there's only so much our D-line is going to be able to pressure, Hurts and a rush throws. Now, especially if Lane Johnson is healthy, I mean, that's just going to help the Eagles more. So, I mean, they have a lot more weapons, and I mean, it just takes one or two, big plays for our DBs to kind of get cooked, and boom, it's over. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they got some nasty route runners out there. So, and for the love of God, I mean, man, fingers crossed our special teams plays their best game. I mean, kicker, punter, even on the kickoffs, every single guy out there, because, man, there is no room for error. And for the love, actually, what I will say is the last thing is, dear Buccaneers, man, we got to clean up on those penalties, man. 14 penalties the last game. I mean, all you're doing is just helping out the Jets. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, if you think about it, though, we had like 10 in the first quarter.
Right. So they cleaned it up for the rest of the game. They cleaned
it up pretty well the next 3 quarters.
Still a mess, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Once you drop a glass, you can tape it up all you want and all that, but it's still a broken glass. So,
yeah, no, you're not wrong.
You still 10 penalties in the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the special teams is the biggest concern. Well, not the biggest, but like they need to clean that up. Like a blocked field goal. The kickoffs have been awful. Chase McLaughlin had a good game.
The week before.
Was that
a blocked punt the week before?
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. It's nasty stuff. If this continues, something's got to change. Yeah, something's got to change. But regardless, I hate to end on such a bleak note. We will be back here next week, regardless of how bad the special teams is, or regardless if the Bucs win or lose. Hopefully, they'll prove us all wrong, but I kind of doubt it. But regardless, we'll be back next week with another show. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts, Mr. Musab Tariq, Mr. Zach Blaine, and give us a like, give us a subscribe if you liked what you heard. Give us a follow at RBLR Sports or at RBLR Bucs. We'd really appreciate it. Keep track of everything we're doing across the channel. But we'll see you all next week. And as always, go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.